What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I have another review for you guys. It's a boot that has been suggested to me a couple times now, and that is the New Balance Furon V6 Plus. It is in the all-white colorway. It's a really cool-looking football boot. I've never actually tried a New Balance boot on before. It's one of those brands that's sort of underneath the shadow of the top 3 or 4, Nike, Adidas, Puma, Mizuno, and I think it's been sort of a long time coming. I think New Balance has some really interesting stuff on the market, and I'm really excited to try these on. These have been sort of on my radar for a little bit, especially from a speed boot and comfort knitted material category. And so let's hop right into the video, guys. All right, so kind of like a Puma box, the New Balance boxes are super plain, just a simple red box. I got this in my usual size 9 US, and we will get these open. You got a little New Balance logo on the paper, and there are the boots. So let's take these out and see what they look like. They're super light right away. Super light right away. Okay, get that out of the way. So here is the New Balance. It's an incredibly light boot. I am really impressed with how these feel. I'm going to take this insert out, this little paper, so I can feel, holy moly. Okay, so super lightweight, really soft touch material. It's got the Infinigrip insole, which is actually really sticky. It's supposed to help, kind of like the Puma stuff, helps with that grip side to side, especially when you have you don't have a pair of grip socks in. So it's a knitted material, and from my research, it looks like there's like fit weave technology. There's a liner on the top that they call hypo knit. That's all of this knit material. That's like New Balance's knit material. It seems pretty good. It's a little less elastic than some of the other big brands, but it looks like it'd be a super comfortable boot. You know what this actually reminds me of is a knitted version of Hypervenom 1. So depending on how these fit and feel on feet, these might be a really great option for wide-footed players. I know New Balance also makes a wide variation of all the boots that they make, so that could be actually a really great option for those of you who have super wide feet. I'd be curious to try those on. The sole plate is pretty snappy. It's not carbon fiber or anything like that, but it's got a very similar chevron stud design to a Vapor or a Puma Ultra, things like that. It's a pretty straightforward stud pattern, and it feels like on the inside it's got this really interesting padded upper. So it's got the knit on the outside and then the covering of the knit, but then it's got sort of like a padding on the inside, which makes me think that on feet it'd actually be a super soft and padded sensation despite being so light. And I imagine if they took that out, it would be just an insanely light football boot. So that's pretty cool. And again, has the Fit Weave logo on it. It's got Furon on the back. These are the 6 pluses, so keep that in mind. The New Balance logo, of course, right here. And yeah, I mean, these are, first of all, they are really beautiful to look at. Sadio Mane wears these, and I believe a couple other pretty high-profile players. I'm not actually sure if I remember all the players that wear them, but New Balance is sort of one of those brands that doesn't really have the same recognition as some of the other, you know, obviously the big 3 plus Mizuno and maybe a couple other ones. And they've sort of been pretty hit or miss as far as boots go and like the quality of the boots and all that stuff, but these I've heard are really spectacular. I've read some reviews and watched some reviews online and thought, hey, why not get a chance to actually review these for myself and see what value I can provide to you guys for those of you who want a pair of boots that are like this. They actually run, I'm a little disappointed in the price. They're probably as expensive as a Nike or Adidas boot, which is probably why these aren't as popular. I reckon if these were the same price as the Puma Ultra, around $200 or even a little bit less, these boots would be super popular as a great knitted alternative to something like a Vapor vapor, something like an X Ghosted if that was something you didn't like the synthetic-y feel of that boot. So really keen to try these on. Again, super soft upper all around. I am curious about a few things. One is the width and the fit. New Balance shoes, like the running shoes that they have, the sneakers, are actually a pretty wide fitting shoe. So I'm really curious to know if these fit as wide as those shoes do, or at least have the capacity to stretch as much as those do. And then I'm very curious about the lateral stability, because they don't have, it doesn't look like they have any cables or anything like, you know, old-fashioned Nike Brio cables, like that type of idea. They don't have any of those in the outside. So because it's such a soft knitted upper, like because it's so malleable, I'm wondering if that would affect the way that the boots perform laterally speaking, which is something that's really important to me. Obviously, I love a boot that goes in a straight line, but I really want a boot that goes side to side. I think it's super important to have that. So that is something to consider. Those are kind of my initial thoughts. There's not much else to explain about these. I think, you know, most of the tech in football boots, especially in knitted boots today, is pretty good. You've got a good sense of, like, even though it's a sock material, it's not going to get really wet in the rain unless it absolutely pours. And obviously through this elasticated tongue area, you are going to get some water, but it's all, you know, there's always like a cover, like some sort of, I don't know what the material is called, but some like plasticky cover on it that they put, and every brand's got their own name. But I do think these are a really great looking football boot. And if you're somebody who, you know, maybe you want to be sort of alty and you want to be a little alternative and you don't want to go with the big three or a Mizuno big four, I guess, brands, maybe you pick a New Balance Furon V6 Plus, because these are really great looking. They're really light and they feel like they'd be super, super comfortable on feet, especially if you had anything from like thin to medium foot. I have a really wide foot, so we will test whether or not they are going to be suitable for those super wide-footed players. But nonetheless, guys, that is it for my first impressions of this Furon V6 Plus. Very excited to see how these fit and feel on feet. So let's hop straight into that part of the video. All right, fam. So we are here in the studio doing the Furon V6 and the on-feet portion of the video. I know in the beginning I sort of explained how soft these were, how light they were, how they might be a really good option for those of you who aren't really interested in a Vapor or an X or a Puma Ultra. I think all of those are great options, obviously, but if you want something that's a little bit different, it's totally knit, it's super soft. There's that, again, that cushy liner on the inside. That might be a great option for you guys. So let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. I'll throw these on for you guys, let you know how they fit and feel on feet, what the sizing is like. I'm wearing my usual size 9 US, as I am in most boots. I wear a 9 US in the Puma Ultra. I wear a 9 US in the Predator Freak Plus, in the Copa Sense Plus, and in the X Ghosted Plus. So all of those I wear a 9. The only boot that I've worn a 9.5 in is the line that went CTR 360 Magista. Those are the only boots that I've ever worn a 9.5 in that have needed that. So let's try to get foot in here, back up a little bit so you guys can see. Ooh, super tight fit coming straight into the boots. And you can definitely feel, so as far as length goes, these are perfect. Width goes, I can already tell they're going to be a little too thin for me because I've got super wide feet, unless I were to try desperately to break these in. But I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I like these boots. I think they're great, but I'm not going to spend the time breaking a boot like this in if I've got other options that are straight out of the box, either better straight up or one of the other brands that I know has credibility. That being said, I think New Balance is coming up, and I think these are a really solid, really solid pair of boots for those of you who have a little bit either medium to thin feet. I think these would be a great option for you. But I'll see when I stand up, see how they feel and how they stretch with my foot. This is outrageously soft though, so right away, it's definitely more of a track spike feel. It's definitely more of a forward motion. The sole plate does a really good job of snapping your foot back straight as soon as you push off. So it does a great job of that. Show you guys the back of them as well. There's that sole plate. It does do a really good job of hugging your foot on all corners. So there's a little bit of space here, but that's pretty normal for me because I've got a weird wide foot. Again, size 9 US fits perfectly in the length. It's a little snug on the outside, but I think I could actually break these in pretty well. And there's that boot on feet. Super nice. So definitely have a good fit and feel. I know I got a couple people in the comments section who said they wanted to see these and a review of these, and I genuinely think these would be a great pair of boots for people. I think these are an awesome alternative. It's a really central, genuine, like pretty basic lacing system, which I actually really enjoy. I think that's a great idea. It's very padded for such a light pair of boots. It reminds me a little bit of the Ultra, having that sort of that padding on the inside. But yeah, I think these are an awesome pair of boots. I would probably rate these like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10, probably 6.5 out of 10. Just because they don't fit my foot as well. That being said, it's got great lockdown, great feel on the ball. It's got really good lateral stability, like pretty good lateral stability, I would say. Really good bounce going forward, and is genuinely a really good speed boot. I just personally wouldn't pick this type of boot from New Balance, particularly because I don't really I like speed boots, but if I'm gonna wear a speed boot, it's gonna be something like a Puma Ultra. So that is sort of my speed boot of choice. The X is pretty good for me. It's a little bit wider than the Vapor, so that's why I'd choose the X over the Vapor. I'd probably go, as I did this video a while ago, that's actually done really well, I think. I think that video's got like almost 10,000 views now. So go check it out if you want. But I compared the Ultra to the Vapor 13 to the X Ghosted, and I went Ultra X Vapor. And that would be, and I'd say that I would wear these over a Vapor. For me, for wide-footed players, I would pick this over a Vapor, but I wouldn't pick it over an X or... Actually, I think now that I'm thinking about it more critically, I think I would actually pick this over an X and a Vapor. I think the only pair of boots that I would pick, if I was to go pure speed boot, I would say Ultra, New Balance, X, Vapor. And that is that for these boots. I do, again, really like these. I just don't think they're for me, but they are pretty comfortable. I just don't like the general feel of them. So, but I would honestly recommend these to anybody. I also think they look sick. Like, I just think the all white with sort of the spotted camo on the sole plate and the New Balance logo, and then a little bit in that tongue piece right there is super, super cool looking. So if you are looking for a pair of speed boots that isn't one of kind of the big three speed boots, I would really highly recommend these. I do think, I'm sort of changing my opinion about them as I'm going about it, thinking critically. But I do think these have a place in the market. I think, could they be less expensive? Yeah, definitely. And then I think they would have a really good pull. But they've got great flexibility. They've got great knit material. They're super, super soft. They fit your foot really tightly. The heel counter's really nice. It's got great lockdown in the heel. And overall, I do think this is a good boot and a contender for that top 3 speed boot spot. It's just not a boot that I don't think I would wear. So this is a pass for me as far as what I would consider. But definitely, I would recommend this boot to anybody who wants a speed boot, but doesn't want one of the kind of big 3 ones. So that is it for the video, guys. Make sure you comment down below what boots you want to see next on the channel. Happy to review them as I walk into the surgery, or I guess roll into the surgery situation and get back on the pitch, which I'm so excited for. If you got value from this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't, share this with somebody who you think would like the Furon V6 Plus. I think it is a great contender. As always, be awesome, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.